Good afternoon, Stephen. How are you?
Hi Chris, how you doing, mate? All right?
Aye, all right. As well as can be. As I always start these at the moment, I feel I'm saying the exact same thing every time. But yeah, no, going as well as can be. It's been a busy week so far for 920, so all good. But yeah, look, what I'll do is, as I normally do with these, is I'll introduce myself, and then we'll ask you to introduce yourself as well, Stephen. So my name's Chris Lowden. I'm the commercial director at 920 Recruitment. We are a boutique technology and digital and manufacturing and engineering recruiter based in the city centre of Glasgow. We operate across the whole of the UK. And yeah, things are going okay. But yeah, if you could introduce yourself, Stephen, that'd be great.
Okay, Stephen Usher, Managing Director, KPP Chartered Accountants. I'm based in Glasgow and Prestwick. It's always difficult to pitch a profession that's perceived as one of the most boring in the world. So really,
but you're
really,
needed.
but I'm needed. That's it.
No.
That's it.
No, look.
So, but for me, it's about you know, in this time especially, it's about having your clients' backs, you know, and the good times, bad times, whatever. It's about being there to reassure them they're on the right path and to give them confidence so that they can go and grow their business or make the tough decisions. And I think that when business owners know that they've got that person or those advisors behind them, then it really helps them, and you know, and especially in the current circumstances. So although we do all the traditional accountancy stuff you'd expect, the main focus for us is really just having our clients' backs and looking after them and supporting them. Always, not just now, but always.
Oh no, I mean, that's refreshing to hear. I think especially at this time, you know, everyone is trying to look after each other. It's tough times, and I would imagine, you know, you talk about the boringness of your job or perceived, but I think at the end of the day, it's you're probably one of the most important people at the moment to ask advice and gain knowledge from in these uncertain times.
Yeah, well, certainly over the last few weeks, really, we've been the go-to people for all our clients. You know, all of a sudden their businesses are closed. They don't know what to do with their staff. They're phoning us up asking for help. You know, and we're trying to pass on the knowledge that we are slowly gaining from the government and what support's available to them. And we're also trying to keep people, especially keep them calm, because when things like this happen, people tend to make knee-jerk reactions, and sometimes they're not making the decisions, you know, coming from the best place. It's really just a knee-jerk thing. So we're trying to keep people calm, talk them through it, direct them to the right type of support. And really, you know, you want to, you know, finishing the calls with your client, you know, they're lying awake every night or every other night worrying about what they're going to do with their staff, how they're going to pay their bills, when's their next sale going to come in, you know, when they can go back to work. You know, for some people it's about whether or not they've got any money coming in to feed their family. So really, you know, when your phone rings, you really just want at the end of the call for them to go away and say, well, thanks for your time, I feel much better now, you know. And that's really all we've really been, you know, spending our time doing the last few weeks.
Well, I know you've probably been doing that for us, so especially with Gordon. So much appreciated that he's been singing your praises over the past few weeks, Stephen.
Oh, right, okay, good. Must be
so I am a walking testimonial that you know, you've definitely had our backs and really supported us. So thank you for that. But I suppose you're totally correct. That's changing daily, and especially a couple of weeks ago when, well, in my opinion, the government seemed to be doing quite a bit in terms of supporting businesses, supporting everyone across the country. Would you say that too as well?
Yeah, they definitely. I think when the measures were first announced, you know, and let's face it, I'm not immune from any of the challenges that are out there that other businesses are facing. And you know, when my clients do badly and are, you know, then or they're facing troubling times, then naturally it has a knock-on effect on us. So when the government announced their measures about covering 80% of people's wages, you know, initially I thought that's fantastic.
Yeah.
They then obviously announced the support for the self-employed, and have announced the grants for, through the local council, 10,000 grants for small businesses and 25,000 for leisure that pay rates. And they've also got the bank-backed, government-backed bank loans for the business loans. So I feel that the measures were great, and they gave a bit of comfort to me, knowing that I could, you know, I could see a way for myself and for my clients to get through it.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's still how they're actually going to be delivered has slowly come through, but it's taking time. You know, you can't deliver all these measures of support overnight. So a lot of the time, you know, we're maybe putting out announcements to clients to say this is available, and then they're phoning saying, how do I get it? How do I get it? And we're like, well, we don't know yet, but we'll update you as soon as we can. But it is coming. I think probably some of the hardest hit are directors that are earning salaries and dividends, so they're not able to claim the 80% of their, you know, their money. And you know, I think that's, I don't think anything's coming for them. I may be wrong. I hope something does. Being one of them myself, and as you are, you would hope that something would come along for that. But yeah, so that's really, I feel the measures have been pretty good, to be fair. I think 80% is a lot. Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought, and this is one of my questions. Do you think it will all be sorted by the end of this month to pay employees at the end of this month?
Right. So what they're saying is that the portal goes live on Monday,
right?
Monday the 20th of April. So on Monday 20th of April, you should be able to go onto the website through your HMRC login, and you should be able to enter the details of your employees that are furloughed and submit a grant claim, and they're expecting that money, the first tranches of money, to be paid out by the 30th of April. So, you know, you can only go on what you're being told. You know, is it going to crash? I don't know. Is it going to, you know, be simple? I have no idea. We don't know until it actually goes live. But I know a number of clients have received their £10,000 loans and £25,000 loans from Glasgow City Council, Ayrshire Council, Stirling Council. So money is coming through.
Yep.
I've got some clients that have received £250,000 in government-backed loans through RBS. RBS have been great, actually, with our clients. So money is coming through. I think where clients are worried about paying their staff and getting the money in time to pay their staff at the end of April, what really the government are hoping is that you can go to your bank and get some sort of short-term borrowing until the grant money comes through, and then repay the short-term borrowing, which would be interest-free under the scheme. That's the idea.
Because you know, when I thought about it, we're obviously an SME, so we don't have loads of people, you know. But I'm thinking about all the big businesses out there, people with thousands of employees, and then being able to sort this out in the space of a month, as well as dealing with the NHS, the pandemic. It must just be really challenging times. So, look, you know, as you're obviously highlighting, it's probably quite a good idea for companies and business owners to be speaking to banks about maybe short-term loans then.
Well, I wouldn't, you know, as a sort of conservative sort of profession, I wouldn't encourage people to seek borrowing unless it was really a last resort.
Yeah.
But the government have now said that they'll lend up to £250,000 with no personal guarantee. So that, and it'll be entirely backed by the government, interest-free for 12 months and no payments for 12 months. I think that's a pretty big, you know, if you're going to borrow, that's good terms to borrow under, you know, rather than having to give personal security or your house. And we had a client recently who did receive just short of £250,000, no personal guarantees, government backed. So the facility is there, but the business has to be viable in the first place.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can't just go and borrow £250,000 and not, you know, on the back of a business that isn't viable in the first place. So the important thing through the criteria is that the business was a good business to start with, and once we come through this, there's a reasonable expectation will continue to be so.
Okay. Okay. So I suppose, see if anyone has any questions. Are you okay for? I mean, I'm going to share obviously some of your information after this once we finish today, anyway, in the comments section on LinkedIn and on YouTube. But are you okay with people to ping yourself or your staff a message on the back of this if they have more questions?
Absolutely. I mean, feel free. Happy to help people where we can and give a bit of advice. No problem at all. And Prestwick, Fraser Reid, he heads up Prestwick office. If you're down that way, he'd be more than happy to help. Up in Glasgow myself. Yeah, absolutely. Just get in touch, and we're there to help people. You know, that's
great.
We're all in it together. I keep hearing that phrase.
No,
but
that's
really,
true.
we are. We've got to help each other out.
Great. So I suppose I would imagine you're getting asked tons of questions all the time, and there must be quite common ones. And I suppose I'd obviously mentioned to you before we came on air today, before we started recording, I keep on thinking about a radio jockey, by the way, on air. Before we started this recording, may I say, I'd obviously highlight, it'd be good to maybe get an insight into some of the common questions you're getting asked, and maybe some clarity on the back end of that around the answers, I suppose.
Yeah, I did think about that, and we've kind of covered it. And a lot of the most common questions that we get asked is, how do I get access to funding? Where do I go to get it? And when can I get it? So, you know, that's really all people are talking to us about at the moment, generally. You know, and it's in terms of the furlough scheme. They want to know when they can go live, when they're going to be able to go live to apply. Well, that's the 20th of April. When can they expect to have money? We've been told by the 30th of April. You know, when, you know, if employees started with us in the month of March, can they be furloughed? Only recently the government's came out and said, well, if they were on the payroll up to the 19th of March, and they had already been paid some weekly pay on an RTI submission, then yes, they can be included.
Right.
Can directors be furloughed? Directors can be furloughed. They can receive 80% of their PAYE salary, and they can still be allowed to do their statutory duties to keep the company generally going. So around the furlough scheme, these are the common questions we're getting asked there. In terms of the self-employment, you know, that's something that's not supposed to come in until June. So we don't really know the format of that. So where we've got self-employed clients that maybe hadn't done their tax returns for 2019, they're really late, but this has got them in gear to get them done. So if there's anyone like that, get into your accountant, get that done. Otherwise, you'll struggle. Exactly. So yeah, and the loans as well. People are asking us, you know, about the banks and what the process is, and you know, it's about getting that in touch with your bank, getting the application form, getting in touch with your accountant or us, and putting together, you know, projections and things like that to support the loan applications. And aside from that, the council grants, where do we get that? Well, your local council website has got all the information. It's a really simple form to fill in. Takes 10 minutes. Send it away with a copy of your bank statement, and really the money should be paid to you without any issues. So they're that's the common things, and it's all surrounding what's going on just now.
Okay. I suppose I was thinking about this, and I suppose as businesses, well, what we're sort of forecasting here is maybe in 3 weeks' time, there'll be certain businesses that will be able to start eventually getting people off of furlough and back working again. Is there a process for that? I mean, what can you do it? I mean, I'm playing dumb here. I mean, I actually really don't know the answer. I mean, if you've originally furloughed someone initially when you started at the beginning, can you start phasing employees back in? Does that make sense?
Yeah, you can. So yeah, well, I think so, Chris, but I'm not entirely sure about how the process works. As long as your employment contracts and whatnot, you know, are able for you to do that, then we've got clients, for example, that have furloughed people for the first 3 weeks of April, They're then bringing them back for a week at the end of April, and then they'll furlough them probably again in March. And that way they're giving themselves a chance to keep some of the business going, and keep some of the administration side of it going, and they're doing it in 3-week blocks. So you can bring people in and out of furlough, depending on, my understanding is that you can do that depending on the business circumstances.
Okay.
So, you know, we might find that yeah, so I'm thinking maybe as we go forward, we might, you know, the restrictions may be eased upon us, but if there's another outbreak, we might be pulled back in again. So we might be in and out of this for a while. So I think there's got to be flexibility to move the staff around and move your employees around depending on, you know, what the business requires.
Okay. I mean, your own opinion. Oh, this isn't obviously an accountant's question, but how long do you think this will go on in terms of a business? Do you personally foresee this going on longer than the summer?
I don't know. I think it
Deep
depends who you
question there.
speak to. I know, it depends who you speak to. You don't want to be Mr. Doom and Gloom. My profession's already difficult to sell without being Mr. Doom and Gloom. Okay, so some clients are in the medical profession, they kind of think we'll be in and out of this situation until we get a vaccine, maybe sometime next year.
Right.
Others are more optimistic and say that it's it'll be less restrictions until we come to winter, and then maybe in and out slightly till early next year. But I guess nobody knows.
Right. Well,
that's the good thing is in Spain they're starting to release it and open certain businesses, construction and different things. So I think we'll kind of follow that pattern, and we're a few weeks behind that.
Okay.
Who am I?
I don't. Hey, I'm just a recruiter. So, hey, okay. Well, look, thanks for all that information. What I'll do, as I've already said, is I'll make sure we post your details on the comments section. If anyone has any questions, and also maybe we might have a discussion after this, and any useful links we can share with people to government websites, maybe with some information around all these things.
Yeah, the government website, businesssupport.gov, is the one that's got all the information on it. It's the main one, and it's the one that I'll go to then translate to my clients. That really is the main thing. So I can send you that link over, no problem.
Brilliant. So what I'll do, just I'll make sure that's in the comment section in LinkedIn and on YouTube. But look, thank you very much for your time today, Stephen. It's been a pleasure.
No worries. Okay.
Thank
Cheers,
you, mate.
Chris.
Take care and stay safe.
Yeah. You too.